Yeah.
Hi everybody, welcome to Wool and Wine, episode 37. I'm Tammy.
I'm Claudia.
I'm Janet.
And welcome back for all of our viewers. And if you're new to us, we're super happy to have you.
And we are recording from the beautiful Bellbrook, Ohio, which is just the south suburb of Dayton. And it's been beautiful weather. We're 60 degrees today, so pretty amazing for this time of year, being in February.
Yeah.
Since today's the 27th.
It is.
And it's episode what?
37.
37. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're so happy to be here today.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've
For sure.
Yeah.
podcasted.
So Claudia went away and came back and we podcasted. And
Yep.
Janet and I went away and we came back and we're
Now
podcasting.
we're podcasting again. Yeah. And I didn't get much done while I was gone on my trip or while you guys were gone. I just wasn't really super motivated, and that's okay though.
It is okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, we sat at the pool and kayaked and
did
golfed,
golfed. Oh yeah, we had an amazing time on the golf course.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
bet.
we did.
Yeah, I heard all about your caddies.
Yeah.
I wish I had one. He needs to come back.
Wow.
He
I'm
gave us
telling
some
you.
good lessons.
He did. We've
Yeah.
never golfed with a caddy before, and on this golf course connected to sandals. So it's not really connected. It's connected in the sense that it's
Partnership
connected
or
to
something.
sandals, but not to the sandals that we were staying at. It wasn't adjacent to it. We had to ride 30 minutes to get there. It was it's closer to the sandals Ochi, and we were staying at the Sandals Duns River, which is one of the newest ones, and it was fabulous.
It was fabulous.
So Claudia's
a
got
good
her
time.
wine glass. I think it's
Aha.
time.
Yeah,
Cheers.
cheers. Kind of thirsty.
Welcome
Yes.
back, everybody.
Cheers.
Delicious.
Man, there's a lot going on with that.
That's good.
That was so good it required a second sip.
I know.
Oh, wait a minute here.
No, sip empty for you. Well, we're really happy to be back with all of you.
Yeah,
And
we
we've
have-
kind of missed them.
Yeah. Yeah. And thanks
so
for
many-
everybody who commented last
Yeah,
time.
so
Yeah.
many wonderful comments and
Yeah.
great
You
suggestions
guys
for
rock.
baby nuts and things. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simply
So
amazing.
exciting.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
So you want to start with what
Sure.
we're wearing? Well, we're a knitting podcast
If you hadn't figured that out. Yeah.
and a wine drinking and a vacationing.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. There were, I don't know if you saw, there were pictures at the end of the last podcast from my trip, which was off the page amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So check them out if you're interested. So anyway, on to what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing the Fiola by Isabel Kramer. And I knit a size 4, and I used a Manos de Uruguay Milo in the colorway Canifra. And so, I mean, you'll see the video, but just to give you a little close up.
So
And
beautiful.
There's on the sleeves, gotta like
I'm just
that.
feeling it.
Yeah, it's very soft.
It is.
But I'll tell you what, this yarn, even though it's very pretty, it does do a lot of pilling, and I haven't worn it that much, and I had to shave it this morning, and I still have a bunch that I missed.
So I wonder if it'll it's so soft, and usually
It
the
is very
softer stuff
Pill.
Does
pills
pull more.
Yeah.
It
Probably
is
has
very
maybe
soft.
some cashmere in there.
I was trying to remember what was in it. I can look it up, I guess.
But
I'll tell you after.
sometimes if they pill initially and you give them a good shave, it really cuts down on that. It's like
Really?
that initial, yeah.
Huh.
And sometimes it's short staple lengths and it just keeps pilling.
Oh, well. That might be the case.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Well, it's gorgeous. So did you make any modifications?
You know, I don't think I did. I think I made it exactly to pattern. And so I'm making another one of hers that you've probably seen, but I love the way she does her shoulders. I mean, it makes it look like an inset sleeve.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah,
It's really,
it looks like a saddle shoulder.
Yeah.
kind of a.
yeah, so it's very pretty.
Very
And-
elegant.
It is, yeah.
I never would have
Yeah.
thought that, but thank
It
you.
does. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I like it. It's a easy wearing sweater, and it's a little bit lighter. That's why I wore it today, because it's so warm outside. So it's not as heavy as some of the bigger gauge stuff I've
Yeah.
been knitting.
Right.
Yeah, so
Bigger gauge. Yes, indeed.
just call me Big Gauge.
Well,
No, well, maybe not. That has a different connotation.
yeah, it might. I think we're all knitting some large gauge things right now. But
Yeah?
it's mysteries. Yeah, I think we might be.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Manos Uruguay is 65% merino, 35% linen / flax. And
Well,
it.
that's a surprise then. It's got to be the
Yeah.
merino that's pilling because linen doesn't do that.
Right.
Right.
I don't know. I don't understand it, but I mean, it's really soft, and I'll keep wearing it. I just have
Yeah.
to shave it more often.
Yeah.
Beautiful yarn.
Well, that 35%
5%.
linen, that really makes that more into spring. You'll be
Yeah.
able to wear that for a while longer.
Yeah, that's why I wore it today, because it was so warm out.
Yeah.
I thought I needed something lightweight.
That color's just gorgeous.
I love
too.
that color. It's my color. One of my many colors.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. All right.
Okay then. What are you
All
wearing?
right, so I am wearing the DRK Everyday Sweater by Andrea Mowry. And just to give you a little close up, take a look at that beautiful yarn.
It is really pretty.
It is.
And of course, there's the video. The yarn I used is the Trendsetter Wish yarns, and the colorway is Coffee, number 887. This is one of the discontinued yarns, so I don't know if you can get it anymore, but
It's a shame.
I know.
I had made this back in 2022 and love the sweater. And I don't think I've showcased it on the podcast before, but it's just a really nice sweater. And I've got some other Trendsetter Wish yarns in like a light purple color with the little colored specks in it. And so now I'm
Nice.
thinking, I'm gonna make another one.
I know, right? It's the perfect yardage that we all bought for that sweater.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't made that sweater.
Yeah,
really-
you're gonna want to
Yeah.
make it because it's really a nice
Well,
sweater.
I have that dark brown I was gonna make something out of, but I kind of I like that.
Yeah. It's got that nice open.
It's a
definitely.
very simple, easy.
It's really a nice
And the
sweater all the way
wide-
around.
That wide ribbing at the bottom just makes it kind of dresses it up a bit.
Yeah, I like the neckline.
Yeah.
The neckline's really nice.
And I don't recall doing any modifications on it at all.
I don't think you did, other than
so-
the invisible lifted increase.
Oh, I think we did those.
Yeah.
Through here.
I think she calls for like a make one left or something. And
We did the invisible
I
lifted.
Yeah, I found it online to do it like grabbing the right leg below the stitch on your left needle, lifting that up and knitting it, and then slipping the stitch
Yeah.
that it's mother stitch.
You can
yeah.
find it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's
Right.
called invisible left leaning
Left leaning,
increase.
yeah.
Or maybe that's the right, I'm not even sure, honestly. But
Yeah.
it
So I
just
love it.
goes right into it. It looks so, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a really good yoke.
It's a good yoke, a good pattern. It's an easy pattern. I mean, a good beginner. And it's DK weight, which I'm finding that's my favorite weight of yarn.
Yeah.
I just really like DK.
My favorite weight is fingering to wear, but
Not to exactly.
not always to knit.
Yeah, I get that. I like wearing fingering too, but to knit, I like bulky.
Right.
I'm kidding. I like a lot of different ways, but yeah, I like DK too.
DK is really, it seems like it goes fast.
It does,
Yeah.
and worsted is good. Yeah, so
That's just
Yeah.
beautiful.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you wearing, Tammy?
So I am wearing the Goldenfern by Jennifer Steingass. And you will see the video. But also, I'll stand up and give you a better close-up of it. So I did make a little bit of a modification. I probably made it shorter than she called for, but somewhere here in the wheats, I extended the top of the wheats a little bit so that I didn't have as much space between the color work. I didn't want super long floats, and at the time I knit this, which was quite a while ago, I didn't know about the ladder back jacquard.
Oh, right.
I hadn't heard of it yet, and if I had, I think that would have bridged that gap nicely, because it's a really easy process. Yeah, it's a way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's just a way of catching your floats so that it creates a separate fabric, and it's not just strands that are easy to catch your fingers and rings and whatever jewelry or just fingers in. So I knit this in Holstgarn Supersoft in the color Prussian for the main body, and then the color work is a few different colors. It was Sunrise and Ember, and then I used Knit Picks gloss fingering. I had some left over of one of these gold colors called Harvest, and I needed 3 colors just to blend it nicely, so you can see how it blends from
looks
kind of a
awesome.
yellow down into a golden
beautiful.
brown.
So
But
beautiful.
this is fingering weight, and it says light fingering, but honestly, once you block the Supersoft, it just fills in. You know, you get that spinning oil out of it, and it is nice. And this Prussian blue did not bleed in the water.
Huh.
So,
That's interesting.
Well, remember how
Go
the
on.
slow SLOE bled like crazy? This did not. So all the Supersofts don't, I'm here to say.
Right, because I had a dark blue one too that I've made a sweater in, and there was a lot of blue that came out. I mean,
Really?
oh yes, it bled a lot.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. So the spinning oil is very dark. So it was this dark gray that came out in the water, but it wasn't the blue dye. There's a real difference for me, you know, that I could see. So my water was filthy, and I ended up, you know, you pull it to the side and drain it out, and then I kept it pulled to the side while I filled the basin again. And, you know, it does take a couple of good rinses, but to get that spinning oil out, but it's not, I don't know why they call it super soft. It's not super soft, but it's certainly not rustic either. But I really love the colors, and this might be one of my favorite sweaters. I don't know, there's something about the color work at the waist. It's flattering. It seems more than most. But I don't think I did any It's been a while, but I'm pretty sure, aside from changing that little bit of the color work chart, I don't think there was anything else. So, do you have a finish?
No, I was really hoping I would, but I don't.
We'll work on that later.
I know we will. You'll see it here in a second, and I know somebody said in their notes, in their comments, she said, as soon as you said you've seen this before, I knew which one you were talking about. anyway, you'll see it all day.
Yeah, but I see you have a finish.
I do. So I started and finished the Tegan baby hat with the top knot by Julie Taylor.
That is so cute.
And I did this on our trip on
so
the way to Jamaica. And here's what it looks like.
That is adorable. I love that little knot on top.
Yeah, so the little baby was born. So I'm a happy grandmother. This particular hat is going to be at least 6 months to a year. So it's going to be a little later that I'll give the baby this hat. And I used the Karen Baby Cakes yarn and Sky Gazing, which was the same yarn that I used to make the baby blanket with. And it's cute. It had the little brown on the top.
So cute. He's going to be adorable in that.
Yeah,
For sure. That's adorable.
Oh my
So-
goodness. Congratulations for your second
Yeah.
time, Grandma. Right? Because you've got, 3 when
I
you
got
include
3.
Oliver. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got 3 grandbabies.
Yeah. Actually, we have 5.
What? Right. Oh gosh.
Because we have a couple other we have 3 grandbabies that are teenagers, and then we have the young ones.
Yeah, the tiny ones.
The one tiny one.
The miniature
Yes.
children.
So it's nice to have a little baby.
Oh yeah.
Again.
Yeah, those babies are something else.
Yes.
Okay, well I do have a finish, and that is the Monday sweater by Petiteknit. So Janet inspired me. I couldn't help it. I loved her version, and honestly, it's all started with the yarn from Claudia. And so anyway, I'll show you in a second, but I used Uru.Yarn Sugared Sport, held in the diamond colorway, and that is this. Yeah. This was from Knit Crate, so it's not available, unfortunately. At least I don't think so. I mean, it says by Knit Crate right on it, so if there's any out there, it would be in a D-stash, I think. Or some of you, actually, somebody commented and said they had some in their stash, so I say go for it. And then I held that with, this is the inspiration yarn. Look at this beauty. This is the Sheepyshire Dandelion, and the colorway is Soul Sister. And they evidently don't have any more of this because Janet actually contacted them to get more. And so I knit the size 2, which is supposed to be a 43¼ inch top. But what I did was I started knitting, and I just kept going until it was deep enough here in the raglan and wide enough to fit, so I just kept trying it on. But oh my gosh, look how that looks up close held together. That is just beautiful. And the reason was she ran out of yarn, and I didn't want to run out of yarn, so it's not as oversized, which you will see in the video. But the funny thing is, I was going to say I didn't make any modifications aside from just stopping when it fit, but I knit this on vacation. So I was sitting in Jamaica at the pool under an umbrella out of the sun, knitting on a sport weight and mohair sweater.
I can't imagine.
And it really wasn't, I mean, we were fine sitting there knitting. Of course, you were working on cotton, but I took all the tools and things that I would need for the projects that I planned to work on. And so I knit this on a size 6 needle, and I got to finish the body, picked up for the sleeves, and when I stuck the needle in, I'd use the barber cords to hold the stitches, and when I put the needle in and was pushing it through, I'm like, man, these stitches are really tight. And I thought, I wonder if it's the humidity or something here that's making this just feel tight. So I went ahead and shoved it through and then knit for about an inch or so, and the sun hit the needle in a way where I could actually read the Chiagu 12-inch needle. I had put the size 8 in my 6-inch package.
Oh.
And didn't even check it because I'm so good at putting my tools away. I put it in the wrong envelope, and that got dropped into my bag, and so I knit the sleeves on a size 8 needle. But it looks to me like it's exactly the same gauge.
Yeah, it's really close, if not exactly, yeah.
It just, so anyway, then I did have the size 6 9-inch needle, which is what I had to knit the ribbing. Oh, so I did go down 2 needle sizes for the ribbing. I usually don't, but I did on this. So you can see it went from nice and wide down to that. But that was my only, it was a happy accident is what I'll call that.
And the happy accident for my next project, I needed to borrow Tammy's 8 and 6 that she used on this, and it worked out perfect that she had the size 8 because that was the size I needed.
Yeah, that's true.
So when she was finished,
I just handed them off.
yes, worked out beautifully.
It did. Yeah, so that's all I've got to say about that. I didn't do any modifications other than the happy accident and making it fit.
And having extra yarn.
And having a tiny bit left over. I know.
Yeah, that is
This
cool.
beautiful.
So now I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do
Yeah.
with that little
I'm
nubbin.
sure you'll figure out some place to put it, like in
A shawl. It'll go in a shawl for sure. Yeah, because
Yes.
that's way too pretty to do anything crazy with. It needs to be good kind of crazy.
So my finish that I worked on in Jamaica was the Toasta Tea by Rebecca Clow. And here's the video.
That's so pretty. I love that yarn.
Oh, I know. It's such good colors. And it fits so well.
Yes, so I bought the yarn in Portugal.
Portugal, yep.
And Tammy bought some too, and she had made hers a year ago. And so I was just getting around to making mine, which love this yarn. It's the Cadia Paraiso. And the colorway was number 50 on that.
Yeah, they had like 10 different colorways that were
Really?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
And
look
so
for
it just loved it because it was just a self-striping yarn. I did a little bit of yarn management on the sleeves, so they looked pretty symmetrical and worked out really well. But other than that,
Gorgeous.
just kept
Yeah.
knitting until I got it done.
Yeah.
And
So cute.
I just I followed the pattern. I didn't even do a gauge swatch on this one. Used a size 8 needle for the body, and then the 6 for the ribbing. And Tammy had the perfect needles. So the little happy mistake helped me because I didn't have the right needles that I needed.
Yeah, it's
on
funny.
the trip, so
I
was
finished
able
up the
to.
sleeves just in time for you to use them on yours. That worked out perfect.
Yeah, love this pattern. I'm sure this is not going to be my last Toasta Tea either. 'Cause
No,
love it.
that's a really good one.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'm sure you've got a whip.
Yeah, okay, so da-da-da. It's the Cartwright by Jenny Atkinson. And let's see, I have the sleeves done.
Yay.
My sleeves and my body's done, except I need to add the sleeves.
We'll get that figured out.
And I was kind of trying to do that on my own, and I think I realized that I was going to the wrong marker, and it's way too long. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's way too long. It'll go all the way up to my neckline.
No, it's exactly right.
All right, well, you'll see. Because I was like pinning this up, and then I'm like,
It actually, yeah, this is exactly right. You don't want to stretch it up to that. You want to just, that's what it needs to be able to
this
go
is what we're
flat.
talking about
Yeah.
right here. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. If it's right, I'm happy. If it's wrong, then oh well.
Yeah.
But it will be done next time, I promise you.
The seaming adventures are about ready to start.
I know. Exactly.
Buckle up, grasshopper. You're gonna learn how to.
Yeah. So anyway, I did modify it to knit it in the round because the whole thing is in pieces, and I don't really like purling back that much. I mean, I don't mind purling, but not a whole sweater. So,
Right.
so I did modify it so I could knit it in the round, and I knit the sleeves in the round, and because those were also flat, and I don't know how it ever would have fit had I knit it flat. I would have gotten it to put it together and gone, oh my gosh, it's way too small.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because I had to go up a needle size, and it's
Yeah.
much better now. It hasn't been blocked yet either, so.
Right.
Anyway, and the yarn that I used is the Cascade 220 fingering in colorways silver, white, charcoal, and lemon. And I do like the yarn.
Yep.
I do. I like the
And it
yarn.
wears well, even though you've actually never worn it.
I keep playing with it though.
Yeah.
Hasn't pilled yet.
You've had it in and out of the bag as many times as most people would wear it in a year.
She's right about that.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I think it's a workhorse yarn.
It probably is.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to finally get done.
Yeah, so that's Cascade 220. I used Cascade Heritage on a sweater. It was an Isabel Kramer, the Neem, that V-neck, that
Oh,
really
yeah, yeah,
sweatshirty V-neck sweater. And that stuff pills like crazy. I have no idea why, but I wished that now that I had knit that in the 220
Oh, really?
instead of Heritage. There's some big difference in those two yarns.
Yeah, so I just watched the Crayabea, Rebecca Clow, and on her last episode, she went through the yarns that she really loves. And the top yarn is the Cascade 220. She loves that. That's her favorite yarn.
Really?
And
Yes.
in DK or worsted, I forget what weight it was, but it wasn't the fingering. So all the 220s must
Yeah,
be made
220.
identically.
And non-superwash.
Yeah, non-superwash for
Yes.
sure. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
Yes.
Yep.
Huh.
I think she
So,
went through like 8 different
It's
yarns.
inspiring. It's like, oh, I need to get some of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good
Eventually.
stuff. Yeah.
I have to get through some of my stuff before I buy anything again. But
Yeah.
anyway. All right.
So my first whip is the Robinia sweater by Anne Ventzel. And this is the one that Claudia just made. She was the big inspiration. So being on vacation and all, I didn't make a huge amount of progress, but I still wanted to show it. So on our last episode, I just got the sleeve separation, so I've just knit probably 2 inches or 1.5 inches. So, but it's coming along. I really like it.
The colors are really pretty.
So,
Yeah.
yes, I love the colors. So I am using 3 different yarns. I'm holding them together, these 2 together. And this is the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in worsted. And the colorway on this is cranberry. And this is the Drops Kids Silk. And the colorway on this is raspberry. And then I'm using the Isair Eco or Soft Wool. I forget what it's called. What is it?
Eco Soft.
Eco Soft.
Eco Soft, yeah.
Eco Soft. Colorway natural. And it creates this beautiful color.
Yes.
Yes, it does. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. It really
So,
is. Love
some more to
it.
come. I
Yeah.
just keep knitting away at it.
So much easier now that it's in the round.
Yo, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Definitely.
So I should be making a lot more progress by the next episode.
Because it's one of those larger gauges.
Yes. It is, which I love.
And I can't remember, is that 15?
I think it's 16. Yeah, 16 gauge on that.
Well, I might as well show mine. So while we're there, I too am making a Robinia by Ventzel, and it is the size 2. I think that's the same size that you're doing, isn't it? I think it is. I feel like it is. Like
Yes.
a 40 something.
Size medium is what I have, so it must be the same size.
Yeah. All right. So I have yarn labels here. Oh, I forgot I was using Scout. I wondered what my gray was. So here's mine. And I got it out and did a couple of rounds and ran out of the blue yarn, so I need to join a new ball. And the blue is Lang Enya. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my goodness. And then the gray color are these 2 held together. And this is Kelborn Woolens Scout. And the colorway is Gray Heather. And then I'm holding that with Hobbii Alpaca Lace. And we've talked about this. I'll tell you, if I had my druthers, I'd probably use that to help get gauge on so many things. Here is the label for that. And this colorway is color 5, and I would just call that a medium gray. But these 2 held together surprisingly make this heathered, very light gray. It doesn't,
It's really
the
pretty.
dark gray doesn't seem to jump out so much. It just
No,
blends
it's
right
gorgeous.
in. Yeah, it just makes it like it's a heathered yarn. But
Very
I am
nice.
loving this. And I think right now this is the kind of sweater that would be perfect for wearing.
Right now?
Like in this kind of weather, because it's so airy and lightweight.
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't been outside, truth be told.
It's pretty warm today.
It is pretty warm.
Oh, so maybe not till it starts
Maybe after cool
thunderstorming.
off.
Right.
I don't think I'd be wearing it today.
Really, it's that warm. Wow.
It's 60. It was 64 when I was coming over here.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
so funny though because just a
It'll
few days ago we had some snow. Like
Yeah.
it was in the 30
Yeah.
degrees, and then you have a 60-degree day. Then it goes back down to 30. So
Yeah, next.
we
it's
never
supposed to be
know
cold,
what
yeah.
the temperature is going to be at any given.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you have another
I
whip?
do. So this is the Forager by Isabel Kramer. And I've made progress. I have,
Oh, that yarn.
yes.
Oh my goodness.
And I've separated the sleeves. So this is the front. And boy, I love this yarn.
Wow, look how
I
pretty
love those speckles in this.
Oh my
This
gosh.
and the yarn is a Rowan felted tweed and the colorway 200, and I think that's Barbara.
Yeah. That's what I remember you saying.
Yeah. So and
So is that a Barbie type?
it's a Barbie.
A Barbie, yes.
My Barbie sweater. Although I didn't. Not really into that, but yeah, it's my Barbie sweater.
Yeah, it's got really good stitch definition because this
Yeah.
beautiful pattern on the sleeves and on the front and the back.
Yes. And
Really
and
stands
then
out.
it's on the side too.
Oh,
And this is
So
not,
pretty.
these are not cables. It's a faux cable is what she calls it. And it's super easy to do. And
And it's that beautiful shaping again.
yes.
Like on the sweater you're
Oh,
wearing right
yeah.
now.
yeah, exactly.
well, I need to put that on my
Yes.
cue.
Oh boy, here we go again.
I have had this on my list for a long time.
Claudia with the inspiration. Here we are.
I'm happy to inspire. Yeah, so anyway, I've had this on in my queue for a really long time.
You
so
have,
it's
yes.
time. It was definitely time.
That's a perfect yarn choice.
I love this yarn. Yeah, I was gonna do it in a kind of a rusty color, and then I decided I need some pink because I don't really have much pink. So anyway, it's going quite well, and I have not made any modifications. I'm not sure what else to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, what would be necessary, especially
know.
after you've made the one that you're wearing now and you know how perfectly
It
that
fits,
size fits. Yeah.
exactly. It's the same size, so yeah. I'm excited.
Wow. Good job on you. That's really pretty.
Thank you.
I'd forgotten about that till you pulled it out, and it's just like every time it's like, wow.
Yeah, right. It's gonna be one of those. You're gonna see me coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the speckle. Got
It's
some-
not, even though it's pink, it's
Yeah,
kind
it's-
of weird. It reads like almost like a neutral because it's not. Okay, I'm kidding. It's not a neutral.
I was gonna say, how is she gonna get that out of this?
I'm just messing with you.
I was gonna say a neutral. There you go.
No neutral there. No, just joking. Haha.
Yes. So yeah, that's my. It's a
That's a good one.
the forager, and it's a fun knit. So keeps me occupied.
Yeah. So what size needles are you using? It
Oh,
looks
I'm
like
using a 7, I
7?
think. Yes, I think I'm using a 7, and I think the gauge is 20. I don't quite remember. I'm pretty usually number 7.
Oh, there you go.
That helps.
That's not a bad stitch.
No,
gauge.
that's
No, that's not bad.
pretty good
either.
size. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I feel like I've made an influence on you guys because I'm like, no, I'm not knitting anything really tiny. But here I got my cart right. But I knew that going into it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, what else do you have?
I know. What are you hiding over there?
So I saw the pretties on Ravelry, and the sweater I am working on that I've just started is the Chloe sweater by Knitting for Breakfast. And I tell you what, I had this yarn. I had this yarn in my stash. This Cloudborn. Here, let's show you here. Yeah. The brushed alpaca and wool DK yarn. So I had bought this when Cloudborn was going out of business. And this pretty pattern came up with a very similar yarn, which was, it was a Surrey alpaca with silk, but it still looked like this. So anyway, here's what it looks like so far.
Wow.
So this is the front. Well, you've seen the picture already, but so here's the front with this detail. And I've already
Ooh.
separated for sleeves.
Wow.
So I'm so excited. Has a 12 stitch gauge for this DK weight yarn.
No wonder you
And
got
talk about how you can just knit this up so quickly. I'm just tickled.
Is that a big cable down the front?
Yes. Isn't that cool?
So it has a
Wow,
cable
yeah.
starting at the very top and going down.
Wow.
So it has it. The pattern that I'm working on is this is actually the extra small size, which is doing the math. the knitting math is going to be a small size, and the small size is like a 41 inch, and the pattern is like a 10 inch positive ease, and I didn't want that. I just wanted it to be a 41 inch. So that's what this is. And this is the first 50 gram skein, and I've already gotten this far, so it's just probably not going to use a lot of yarn
No, that's
either.
Wow.
And so I'm just tickled with it. I'm just tickled. And I really, when I started knitting with this, I thought, oh geez, if I have to rip back on this, I'm never going to be able to see my stitches. But in reality, you can see them really well. I mean, you really can. It's just a different yarn. So I'm using my stash yarn, and I'm so happy. And I just happened to find this pattern that just goes beautifully for this particular kind of yarn.
That's really pretty.
So I had to throw something else on the needles.
Wow.
That'll go fast.
You poor thing. Yeah, we didn't know that was even a thing. I didn't know. Did she bring that on Thursday?
She showed it to me. She showed me the pattern on Thursday.
I just started this like 2 days ago.
Wow, good job.
So that's how quickly so far it's going. But
So pretty, that color.
and
is really
when
nice.
it blocks, it really blooms and opens up.
Oh,
too.
nice.
So
Yeah.
it'll just be. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
really happy with
that's
it.
fun.
And using my stash yarn, that's kind of my goal this year, is to
Yeah, me
use
too.
the yarns that I have
Yeah.
and the patterns too that I have. This is a new pattern, but you know,
Yeah. I know what that's
if
like.
it works with my yarn that I have in stash,
Right. Yeah.
it's all good.
Being on a yarn diet means that we are going to cheat.
Every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes
you- yeah.
you need stuff to go with other stuff.
Right.
Okay, so that I've already talked about.
What
The
is
next one, you can't see that yet. The next whip is the Moby Sweater Man, and that's by Petiteknit. So this is Rick's sweater, and I've put just a few stitches on this since coming back from vacation. I had to pick it up and knit a little bit on the sleeve just to make sure I still remembered the pattern, because it's just such a good one. I love the sweater. So here's how beautiful it is.
That is beautiful.
And then it's got this down the sleeve. So I'm doing the size 48, which is gonna be a little bit big on him. And when she shows this on her, I guess it's her husband, for her sample, He's really lean, and Rick's got big shoulders, so I think that the last sweater that I knit for him was a 47, and it's got ease in it because the sleeves are like, you know, there's a lot of fabric up here, and this is going to be the same way, but he always wears like a button down, you know, with a button down collar underneath, and I don't know if he'll have to with this one. He might be able to get by with just a round necked long sleeve shirt or something, but man, this is heavy.
It's beautiful though.
Yeah, it is really beautiful.
He can wear it around the house when it gets cold.
Yeah, well, I said, you know, he will.
Because Tammy has a temperature down to
I do. I
She's like
freeze cold.
Sub-Zero.
Yeah. It's getting better though. You know,
Yeah.
that whole menopause thing. Those personal summers are getting a little bit better. So the yarn I'm using here, I'll just show you the label really quick. This is Purl Soho's Yonder. And this yarn is amazing. This is Stillwater blue. I love this. So I have a few hanks of it wound up, ready to go. And I think this is the one that's attached, but look at the colors in that. It's just so gorgeous. This would be one of my favorite worsted weight yarns, I think. Having said that though, is this superwash? No, it's 50% alpaca, 50% Highland wool. And that is some scrumptiousness. Yeah, so anyway, love the pattern, love how it's working up, but feel how heavy this project bag is. Yeah.
Don't have him weigh himself when he's wearing that.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that amazing? How
It is heavier than you would
heavy.
think.
And there's only 3. It's the sweater with the ball that's attached and 2 more. So the reason I haven't finished the body is it's easier twisting around on your lap when you're only doing once, you know, you get a little bit past separation and start working on the sleeves. And I just wanted to get that part done. And of course I did the neckline before they said so. But so, do you have another whip?
I do. And so was it last time or no, when we did the year in review, you had on your drawing sweater.
I did.
And when she made that, I wanted to make one, and I just was sort of like hem-hawing. And then when she wore it that time, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do that. So I have cast it on, and OMG, feel how soft that is.
Oh my.
And okay, so this is the drawing sweater by Tammi Yashimoto.
Oh, these colors.
Wow. This is soft as a little bunny's ear.
Little bunnies.
Yeah.
Okay, so the yarn that I'm using is this is the flower color, and this is Malabrigo Finito, and it's just a natural color, but this stuff is like unbelievably soft, and I've had this in my stash too. So
It's always nice to use her.
and I'm holding that with the Angel Bliss or Debbie Bliss Angel, and that that colorway is Ecru. So I mean, just feel that.
Oh, all by itself, even without that mohair. That's really
Yeah, so
Wow. That
and
explains the bunny ear.
bunny ear, yeah, it is.
So soft.
And then the body of it is going to be in this felted tweed again, Rowan felted tweed, and this is avocado colorway.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, that's going to be really
And
beautiful
so
together.
holding these two together, you know, in color work, I think it's going to be gorgeous. So here's my start I get do the charts next. I'm to the point where I do the charts.
All right.
Yeah.
And I did modify because she wanted to do it a cable cast on, or I think so.
I can't remember.
And I did a
Long tail?
long tail cast on for the neck. So hopefully that works. Mm-hmm. But boy, is this some softness.
That Debbie Bliss on top of that is some really nice mohair. I've used that before.
Yeah.
And
It is. It's wonderful. And everything's for my stash. So
yeah.
yay me.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is going to look so gorgeous together. Your flowers are just going to pop with that fluffiness against.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
Yeah. So when you got the pattern, you ended up with the new charts. I knit mine with the old charts that were like blinding to actually see
I
them.
can't even imagine.
Yeah, so she updated the chart. So if any of you got that pattern a long time ago, like I did, if you haven't updated it, you probably want to allow that update to take place because it was mind-blowing trying to keep track of where you were.
Well, I'm just looking at the charts themselves. I mean, they're so crammed in. I mean, the squares are like an eighth of an inch, if that big.
It's because there's no repeat.
Right, exactly.
The pattern doesn't repeat. She called it
all
the
random.
drawing sweater because she literally drew the flowers out and then made the chart
Yeah, pretty
to fit
amazing.
them. Yeah, it is amazing.
It's-
Wow.
It's gonna be pretty,
Yeah.
and I hope it's not too bad. So.
So, Miss Janet, I'm sure you've got another whip.
I do. I have one more whip. It is the Little Bear Hug Beanie by Kim Lichtenegger. Lichtenegger, I think is her name.
It will have been on the screen,
Right.
so.
So I saw this. One of our viewers had told me to look up some patterns, and this one popped up, and I'm like, I gotta make another hat. So this is like a year-old hat size, so it'll be down the road a little bit, but I wanted to start on it because I have this beautiful yarn, a little nubbin of this, and this is the Malabrigo Arroyo in the colorway Coffee Toffee. It's just perfect for this little
Sounds delicious. It does. Coffee toffee.
baby bear hug. So I just got this on the needles. So this is what it looks like so far.
That knits up
So-
really pretty.
Yeah, it does.
So I am so excited to make this little bear hug beanie that I couldn't wait any longer. I also want to do some of the little booties and a sweater, but I just had to I gotta make another hat.
I have a crochet, maybe I can't remember if it's knit or crochet pattern for, they look like little Converse sneakers. They're booties and they are so stinking cute. I'll dig it out. It's upstairs somewhere, probably in my binder. But I made those for, I'm not even sure which grandbaby. Might have been a great grandbaby sometime in the last couple of years. But I'll dig that out for you because that would be so stinking cute.
Yes, it would be.
And oh man, Katie and Aaron would love them.
They would love them.
Okay, so I have one-ish more. I was watching Beth MacDonald Stone not too long ago. She's got a fabulous podcast, and you know she's a designer living in Bermuda, and she started a podcast. I want to say a couple of months or so ago. There aren't very many episodes out, but I started following her and watching, and she was talking. I mean, her designs are just like beyond gorgeous. And she started talking about this Burmy Basic, and it's a basic sweater. You've seen it? Yeah.
Yes.
It's just this basic round yoke sweater that she's doing in all kinds of gauges. It's just going to be a basic from like I want to say 24, 6, 8 stitch gauge. So a fingering weight clear up to like super bulky. And she was just about to the point of needing test knitters for her Burmy Basic 14, which is a 14 stitch gauge. And I sent her an email, told her what a fan I am, because if you're not a fan, what the heck is wrong with you? Because her sweaters are gorgeous. And asked if I could test knit that for her, and the timing was just perfect. So I had some yarn in my stash, and of course, you know, the wool of the Andes. I don't even have a picture to put up because it is a test, and I think she at this date hasn't even released any of them yet. But she's really close to it. So anyway, I have Wool of the Andes and Rowan Cashmere Haze. Here are the labels for both yarns. So I'm holding these together. The Wool of the Andes is in Mink Heather, and the Cashmere Haze is in the closest match to Mink Heather I've ever seen. Check this out.
Wow, that's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, this is really, really good. And that Cashmere Haze is like as soft as Alpaca.
Wow.
And as soft as Mohair, but not as, the fluff isn't as much, which I kind of like. So you can see, oh good, it shows against my dark sweater how there's fluff, but not too much. It's enough to really change the gauge of the Wool of the Andes, because like I said, it's a 14 stitch gauge. So here is what this fabric is looking like, and it's a 2x2 neckline, and then it's this beautiful basic with short rows. So that's one version, and I started it, and I had, of course there are short rows, so it's German short rows, and then you're doing increases to make it fit your shoulders, like all sweaters. And at some point I did something that it made a hole, and I'm usually pretty good at the German short rows, but I think maybe one of the increases happened just above a short row. So I ripped it back and changed where I did the increases. You know, if it was like knit 3, make 1, I did knit 2, make 1. So it happened 1 stitch sooner and not on top of it, and now it's perfect. So anyway, then I had some other yarn that has been just bugging me to not knit with, and that happens to be Big Birdie from Dimond, Laine. And I gotta tell you, it's worth all the hype. So Big Birdie is a yarn from Lamb & Kid, and I got this while we were at Wool Folk.
Woolen Folk, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
So here's what this gorgeousness looks like. And I bought several colors. My initial thought was to make Jackie Rose's one of her weekend shrugs, and so I got black and peanut and button jar, I think. I was trying, a couple of different times I tried to cast it on, and there's something about the pattern that I don't like. I think it's the way that the neckline is all open, and then I know she came out with the one that has the decreases in it, but it didn't thrill me either, and I decided I didn't really want to knit one of her patterns, so.
So is this the same as the
brown one? It's exactly the same pattern, yeah. So then I found the black, and I had some gray Lang Malulite baby alpaca. So the big birdie is Aran weight, and it's alpaca and silk. And then this is all baby alpaca. And then I also had some Cloudborn. It's funny, we're using up some really deep stash, all of us. So this is brushed alpaca sport, and I'm holding this double to get gauge. And so the sweater is absolutely freaking adorable, and I can't
cute.
put it down. Look at this. So the body is done, and it has a nice wide ribbing. It's not blocked yet, and one sleeve is, well, one sleeve is even a little bit longer than the body, but I think I still have like 3 inches to go, and that will, I'll go back to the big birdie. But all these yarns are knitting at this beautiful 14 stitch gauge. Feel this.
Oh my gosh, it's so lightweight.
So the whole sweater is super lightweight. I'm keeping track on the pattern, of course, for yardage for her.
Wow,
But
that's gorgeous.
yeah, the pattern.
I like the stripes. Is that
That is gorgeous.
It's a basic, so there are no stripes, there's no anything. It's just a blank canvas for you to do whatever you want.
That's
and
really pretty.
I needed to be able to figure out, I only had 2 skeins of this big birdie. And so I needed to find yarn to put with it and then figure out what the heck I was gonna do to make it make sense.
And that's adorable.
It is.
So I am spit splicing.
So do we know what the name of that pattern is yet?
Burmy Basic 14. is this.
Burmy Basic.
Yep. So I'm spit splicing all these yarns. So here's the inside. There are no ends except under the arm where I had to add yarn when I picked up the sleeves. Every single one of these spit splice, and I haven't, normally with the yarn you would trim it to half or undo,
Oh right, and wind it or
yeah, kind of unwind the, what are they called when it's 3 or 4 strands? Yeah, so you'd unwind the strands and make it half and half and then splice them together. Well, this yarn is so fluffy and there's really nothing. I would have made a mess if I tried to trim it. I just overlapped them 2 inches, dipped my finger in water, got them good and wet, and rubbed until it was hot and dry. And every one of these, every time I changed colors on this whole thing, there was never an end to have to deal with. They all spit spliced into each other.
Wow.
And at 14 stitches, I would stop 8 stitches before my beginning around, pull out 6 inches, break it, and 6 inches was the perfect amount for it to be overlapped and to get right up to that. So, I mean, here's the middle of the back, and you can't really see
no,
where I
you
did
really
that.
can't. No.
So, I'll show you what I'm talking about. The middle of the back is right here, and there are no jogs or anything because you're just splicing it together and going on. But
So yeah, so Linda from For the Fun of Knit, she just made one of those, and so it was just on our last episode.
is she doing the 14 or a different gauge?
I'm not sure. She held a couple of yarns together, and so it kind of looks like an animal print.
Huh.
But yeah, it's a bigger gauge, I think, but maybe not that big.
Yeah, so she's going to go down, I think, to a 12, which I'm all here for it. I mean, if you only have to hold something that's lace weight with wool of the Andes worsted, so you wouldn't ever believe that these two are the same, but the sweater is so
This is
cool.
the second one. Your second one, is this the neck?
Yeah, that's the neck. So the cast on, I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah, it's real
stretches way
stretchy,
out, but
yeah.
it's 2x2 ribbing, so it looks like it comes way in.
Okay.
So it kind of looks, I mean, this DRK sweater to me kind of reminds me a little bit, but this is a DK, but you know, it kind of opens up around the neckline
Yeah.
like this, maybe. It may go up a little bit,
Yeah,
more
this
than
goes
this
up higher.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is really a cool pattern. So
I saw that and I thought, wow, I want to make that.
yeah, so I'm just excited for her to get this whole booklet done. She's not quite sure exactly how she's going to price it or put the whole thing together, but man, I'm here for it. I'm just excited. This is one of those that would be so cool to embroider on.
Oh, right.
You know, just do something super plain and then embroider on it and make it fun. So
I really liked your stripe idea. That's
I
gorgeous.
do too. That's really pretty.
Did a great job on that.
well, they're so different in weights, you know, and it kind of laying here folded, it kind of goes in and out, but it's not blocked yet. And
Yeah,
I think
the-
when
the
once it's
difference.
blocked, it's all going to relax out. I
Yes.
mean, each color I'm getting gauge with it. So my gauge.
Gorgeous.
She said that row gauge is absolutely not important because she tells you to do this for X number of inches, you know,
Oh,
from
okay.
the center front down to the center. And, you know, you measure X number of inches before you separate for sleeves, which of course we all know what our magic numbers are. And, you know, you go until it's just that. But I'm kind of excited to have two. I didn't tell her I was going to do two, but I started the other one and I ripped it back just to see if it was that spacing thing that was the problem. And I'm pretty convinced that's what it was because there's no hole now. So now I just need to tell her that. But it's kind of fun. I want to do a shout out, and you guys are going to laugh, but Caitlin from Caddy Jack's Knits started her own podcast, and I watched it, and I got to tell you,
I did too.
it was fabulous. If you haven't seen it yet, so when I watched it, it was like the day she put it out, and there were not that many people who have watched it, and it's called This Little Life, and I don't like what has evolved on the other channel. I'm not like into poetry and
Right, yeah.
into somebody being so all about like it is, yeah. But Caitlin is so down to earth and such a wonderful soul.
Yeah.
That if you haven't checked out her podcast, This Little Life, you really should, because it's good. It's good, and it's, you know, just knowing how she is, that it's going to be a really good solid one with
Right.
not a bunch of fluff, and it's not all
Yeah.
about her. It's about her making and all the things. And anyway, I told her I was gonna give her a shout out, but not that she needs it. It's just, you know,
Right. Hey, she's
People
doing
have
some
found
flower arranging, besides just the knitting, flower arranging, a
And
lot of
hiking.
hiking, yes.
and doing stuff in the mountains in Tennessee.
Oh,
right?
nice.
Yeah. So
I'll have to check it
So-
out.
yeah, so I just wanted to mention that because I truly, thoroughly enjoyed her first episode.
I did
So-
too.
So is there anything else?
Well, if we have time, I'm
I feel like we do.
I'm always looking at patterns.
Of course.
So I thought I would show you a few patterns or you'll see them here, but I thought I would talk about them, and just so you guys know what I'm talking about, because I don't think they've seen these yet. But okay, so there's one that's called the Prism Pullover, and that is by This Bird Knits.
Oh, she's got a lot of beautiful patterns.
Yeah. And so we put up a picture of it. And here, I'll just do another one. Just so we're all on the same page. Oops, you can't even see it. Oh, well, sorry.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
really weird glare, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, I saw this pattern and I thought, that is an adorable pattern.
So that is a slip stitch, it looks like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she called it mosaic.
Okay, right.
And it's 24 stitch fingering, but oh well. I don't know what else to say about it. I just thought that was adorable. And
Yeah.
there's a couple of them in here. So this would be good for a color changing yarn. One of them would be a color changing yarn. And I thought this one was really cute. So look, I'm looking on their page right now, the Ravelry page. So yeah.
You know what would be really good for that is that Hobbii.
Oh, that
that
one.
stuff that I used on my orbits.
Right.
Dream in color is no.
Something like that.
I might be
Yeah.
calling it the wrong name. You'll see that again in just a couple of weeks. I'm about to pull that back out.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Oh, and what else?
So then I saw something. So I think I was probably on Pinterest, but they didn't have the name of the vest, and so I went onto Ravelry and I was doing a search on cardigan vest, and I found it's called Texture Vest, and it's by Helga. Isager. Yeah, and I thought, oh my gosh, that is such a cute vest, and it would be perfect to take on travel. You know, and there's days you just need something a little bit extra, and
Yeah.
I don't do the pullover vests very well, so this is a cardigan vest, and it has a really nice texture in it, and you will have seen a pattern by now. So, and this has a 14 stitch gauge.
Oh, perfect.
So anyway,
Held together lace, but they
Yes.
use a US 10 needle. Oh, I'm liking that.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm sure you could use DK if you want, and if as long as anything you can get gauge in that you like the fabric, you could probably do. So I have one more, and let's see, that is called it's Oheka. I have no idea how to say that, but it's from Laine Sucre, Sucche. And it's a V-neck sweater with some texture all over the body.
Yeah,
And
that's really cute too.
I thought that was really adorable. And Arbor Tweed, Brooklyn Arbor Tweed.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have that too, and I thought, well, maybe I could make that in that arbor.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So who doesn't like a V-neck sweater?
Oh,
We do.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's a little oversized, so I'll probably make a smaller size because I'm not
Yeah.
too wild about big oversized stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys liked my little exploration.
Yeah, that was
patterns.
fun. Those are cute.
Yeah, so
That vest is a really great idea.
I love this vest, and there's another one. Look at it's Cable's 101 vest.
Oh my goodness.
It is gorgeous. I'll give you a picture.
Yeah, give me
of
a
it.
picture of that one. So what's it called?
Cable's 101 vest.
Cable's 101
By
vest.
Janet Zabo.
Zabo. Yes, and this
That is fabulous.
isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, that's a really good one.
And that is worsted weight 20 stitch, and it says it's stockinette, but the whole vest is cable, so you could probably have some flexibility there a little bit, but it's really, really gorgeous. So yeah.
That is really pretty. That might be my favorite.
Yeah, it probably
Out of all of
is,
them, it's
right?
like, wow.
Yeah.
Nice shawl collar, buttons.
Yep.
You could
Yeah.
add sleeves and make it a cardigan if you needed to.
Yeah, you could, right? It is gorgeous, though.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
Yeah, and they use Lion brand fisherman's wool, which kind of surprised me.
So that would really bring the cost down on that.
Yeah.
I've seen some people knit with fisherman's wool lately. Oh, the cute little blonde from Scotland. That's not really from Scotland. She's from Belgium. Oh.
Is it Venetia?
Yeah, Venetia has
Venetia.
been knitting with fisherman's wool, I think.
Mm-hmm. It looks really
Is-
nice.
did her new haircut,
yeah,
that was
so
so cute.
cute.
Yeah.
And this pattern was from 2002.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's been a while, and so it's very universal.
Yeah.
You know, you make it now, and you could wear it in another 20 years.
Oh, absolutely. It looks heirloomish.
Yeah.
It also looks a lot like a Thea Coleman pattern just
Oh,
because of how
all the
well
cables,
done
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So anyway, there
That
we
was
have it.
Fun. Yeah.
I hope that was worthwhile for you.
So, do you have any dream knits?
No, not
Other than
today.
getting the ears on that cute little... Yeah, gosh. So this has been a lot of fun catching up with you guys.
Yeah.
Catching up with all of you.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I guess it's time to go to the tasting table.
So welcome back. And today we have the Hedges Family Estate red wine. It's a blend, and I love blends. It's Merlot, Cab Sauv, Syrah, Cab Franc, Malbec, Petit Verdot, Souzao. I don't know that I know that one. Souzao. There's only 1% of that. So, and then Touriga and Tinta Cao. Cao.
Wow.
So this is like it's like the kitchen sink.
Big variety of grapes in this.
It is, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is from Red Mountain, and if you're a Washington wine lover, you know Red Mountain is like primo wine. And this is a reasonably priced wine. It's I actually have a price tag on here because I just bought it this year. It's a 2019, or maybe I bought it last year. But anyway, it's a 2019, and it is $29.99, $30. So it's a reasonably priced, and I think very tasty.
Yes.
And let's see, what does Vivino say about it? It's a great value. At similar to wines usually cost like 40-50% more. Among the top 2% in the world. It's more on the bold side. It's a little on the tannic side, but I didn't really notice much.
No, I don't really get that.
And it's dry and slightly acidic.
So it's very easy drinker.
Yeah, very. And people talk about oak, vanilla, tobacco.
From the cask.
Cask, yes.
Yeah,
So
you
this-
get that on the nose for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
And
the type of wine I would say you don't need food with it.
No.
It's just really
it's got
tasty.
It has a full
To have-
flavor.
Yes.
A lot of
full,
layers.
balanced. Yeah, a lot of layers.
It's also has blackberry, dark fruit, and plum.
Yeah, you get that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a lot of red fruit. And it calls out leather, earthy, and smoke. So, I do get the smoke on the
Yeah.
nose.
The smoke and the earthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not nearly as earthy as some of them though.
Right, some of this French wine.
right.
I appreciate this kind of earthiness.
Yeah. And looking at all these reviews, the reviews are started 4 out of 5, in sort of in that range, 4 to 5 range. So that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's a lot of reviewers.
Yeah.
I think when it's not a real expensive one, you get a lot more on Vivino,
Probably. Yeah.
reviewing and leaving notes and things.
Right.
Although, even though you don't need food with this one, I think it would hold up with food.
Oh,
It'd
yeah.
be able to stand
Oh,
on its own.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Be a good pizza wine for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's wonderful.
I do
Speaking
too.
of pizza, we tried a new pizza place this week. On night before last, Rick was like, I'm tired of soup. Because I did make a pot of vegetable chicken soup this week. And we ended up ordering from down by El Toro. So after we podcast and get together and knit on Tuesdays, a lot of times we call it Taco Tuesday, where we go out to eat. And El Toro is one of the places around town. But there's a pizza place that's like right next door to them.
Oh, that just opened up recently.
Yeah, it's really good pizza. It kind of reminds me of Donato's. And they've got cauliflower crust if you want it.
Oh, nice.
It's thin crust. It was crispy thin crust, not crispy like Papa John's.
Yeah.
But, the kind that's not like doughy on the bottom. It was really delicious, and
Nice.
this would have gone really, really nicely with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some good veggies and meat.
So yum.
Delicious. All right, so we're getting really, really close to 4,000 subscribers. So if you're
Yeah.
hanging in there with us and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe.
Yeah, because then we'll have a giveaway, right?
Yes, we have stuff that we want to give
Forward
you.
to that.
But we need a reason. I mean, I guess we don't, but we're so close. I think we're
Yeah.
like 108 viewers or something like that.
From 4,000.
4,000. Yeah.
You know, it's funny because we look at other. We were talking about this earlier. We see other podcasters, and it's like we only have 4,000. And other people have many, many more, and that's okay. It's okay. We have fun with it, and the people who watch us love it. So
Yeah, we have the best.
We're toddlers, though.
We have the best viewers. We love our viewers.
yeah,
we do. Absolutely, we do.
yeah.
But you know, we're only a year and a half old, so
We're still
fine.
crawling.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're toddling around.
We're toddling. Yeah, we're toddlers at this point. So, but we do need to get more active on Instagram. We make so many beautiful things. If we all just took one picture of each one of these beautiful things and put it out there, that would, you'd get in front of a lot more people and
Yeah.
be able
Well,
to
we
get
will.
that number up. So,
I'm planning on doing what is that on Instagram? A reel?
a reel, yeah.
Yeah, on my cart ride because I've taken pictures all the way through it, all the stages. So
So we'll get one while we're
Beautiful.
pinning those sleeves in today.
yeah, right.
Poor thing. I felt so bad for you.
That's all right. Because I lined it all up, and it just I'm like then I had this bunch of it was like this big. So, well, anyway, enough on that. We'll talk about we'll do that.
It'll be fine. I'll help her
Yeah.
with it. She'll do great. No worries.
All righty.
So in the meantime, if you
Can't be with the wine you love, love the wine you're with.
Cheers.
Cheers.